Hey everyone, and welcome. We've got an incredibly exciting explainer lined up for you today. We are going to completely decode the language of charts. Have you ever looked at a trading chart and felt like you were just staring at the matrix? Lines going everywhere, numbers flashing, and it just looks like total, absolute chaos. Well, today, we're going to fix that. We're stripping away the noise and focusing entirely on mastering price action. By the end of this explainer, you're going to understand exactly what the market is trying to tell you simply by looking at how price moves. So here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the core concept, move into identifying trends, tackle a massive beginner mistake, cover support and resistance, and finally bring it all together with step-by-step chart reading. All right, let's jump right into section 1, the core concept, naked trading. Okay. We're kicking things off with a brilliant and honestly pretty blunt quote from our source material. What I would really like for you to do is not be a noob in day trading. I love that, right? It's super direct and it's exactly why we're here today. When you're first starting out, it's so incredibly easy to clutter up your screen with literally every indicator you can find, thinking it's going to give you some sort of magic answer. But all it really does is lead to losing trades and a whole lot of frustration. We want to bypass that entire beginner phase for sure. So this brings us to price action, which is also called naked trading. Basically, this means completely stripping away the confusion of messy, overcomplicated charts. You know the ones, covered in a million colorful indicators. Instead, you're learning how price moves to understand the specific story it tells. You see, price isn't just random numbers ticking up and down. It's an actual language. As it moves, it constantly tells a story about buyers and sellers, about fear and greed. Our goal today is to make you totally fluent in that language without relying on indicators as a crutch. Moving right along to section 2, identifying trends and the 3 directions. To actually learn this language, well, you first need the alphabet. The market literally only ever moves in 3 ways: up, down, or flat. When price is in an uptrend, it doesn't just shoot up in a straight line. It moves in waves, creating a higher high, followed by a higher low, then another higher high, and another higher low. It's exactly like walking up a staircase. But when price stops wanting to go up, it reverses. It starts painting a totally different picture. A lower low, a lower high, a lower low, and a lower high, walking down the stairs. Once you train your eyes to see these highs and lows, you can instantly diagnose the market's current story. Which brings us to section 3, the beginner mistake, focusing on flat price. Now, when price stays flat, it creates the ultimate trap for inexperienced traders. We call this consolidation. It represents pure market indecision. The buyers aren't strong enough to push it up, and the sellers aren't strong enough to push it down. Price just entirely refuses to commit. Because there's no clear story being told yet, this is generally a horrible time to execute trades. You're essentially just guessing in the dark at this point. And honestly, this brings us to absolutely one of the most vital takeaways from our source material today. When the market is in this flat, consolidating phase, avoid this like the plague. That is a direct warning with dramatic urgency for a very good reason. Sitting on your hands and protecting your capital when the market is indecisive is genuinely one of the greatest skills a trader can ever learn. You've got to wait for the market to tell you a clear story. Okay, section 4, support and resistance, or as I like to think of it, the grammar of price. So the first boundary here is resistance. Think of this exactly like a ceiling. Imagine a stock, say, repeatedly hitting $50 and bouncing straight back down. That $50 mark is a specific top level that a consolidating price simply cannot go above. Every single time the price goes up and hits this invisible barrier, it gets rejected. The price is literally resisting pushing through the top. By marking this ceiling out, you know exactly where the upward momentum is failing. Conversely, we have support. If resistance is your ceiling, well, support is the floor. If that same stock drops to $40 and buyers keep swooping in to push it back up, that $40 mark is your lower area where price is repeatedly held up and supported from falling any further. Together, the floor and the ceiling completely make up the grammatical structure of a chart during a consolidation phase. They give you incredibly clear boundaries to watch. Now for the really fun part. Section 5, step-by-step chart reading to achieve total fluency. Okay, here's your execution plan. We're going to take all these separate concepts and finally bring them together. Step 1, look at the chart and identify the primary trend. Is it going up, down, or is it flat? Step 2, if it's pausing, map out your battlefield by drawing your support floor and your resistance ceiling. Step 3, Analyze the candlestick clusters right near those boundaries. Small clusters of specific candles, like a huge bearish candle up, followed by indecision, then a huge bearish candle down, give you a massive hint about which side is actually winning the battle. And finally, step 4. Wait for the breakout. When price no longer wants to consolidate, it's going to powerfully break out of your drawn range in one direction. That breakout, that is when you execute. Now, once you've absolutely mastered this naked trading process, well, then you can start layering in just a few highly effective next-level tools. We're talking about things like Fibonacci retracements to find what are called gold zones for continuation trades. You can use divergences or volume analysis to confirm your breakout momentum. Incorporating just a couple of these specific concepts, not a million, just a couple, will help you pinpoint truly amazing entries once your basic price reading skills are rock solid. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought today. Are you ready for price to actually tell its story? You know the alphabet now. You know how to identify the highs and lows. You know to avoid the trap of a flat price. And you know exactly how to draw your ceilings and floors to wait for that perfect breakout. The next step is all yours. Take these fundamental lessons, open up a blank chart online, and start reading. Stop trading like a beginner and start listening to the language of the market. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey, happy charting.